repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man will go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't roll my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, touch one of my new thugs. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got...
This is the sound of Image by...
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your second morning wake-up call. Okay, so let's get into it. Everyone, please get those likes up. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. All right. Hello, Buckhorse DC, Capricornus, Carissa D, Atai is here, Jeff ATL, Pensilola, Bronze Flat Power God. April is here, Meta Simplicus, Mr. Elevation, Black Women Stand Up, Alice, Sophie, Anita is here, Mary, Sandra, Michael M. Okay, so let's get into it. Everyone, please get the likes up. Buckhorse DC in the house. Desmond, OG Patrice. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. 504 Nola, Skeletor fan. I see you, Lady D. Claudette. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about this story because I thought this was real crazy. Beijing half marathon winner stripped of medals after African trio let Chinese runner win. So they let this person win? What is really going on here? The top four finishers of the Beijing half marathon have been stripped of their medals after an investigation found 3 African runners deliberately slowed down near the finish line to let a Chinese competitor win. Can anyone make this make sense? I have a whole lot of questions. Can anyone make this all make sense? Why would you slow down? What is wrong with some people? But anyway, now they've lost their medals. Okay, so let's get into it. Hold on, let me cut on a little bit of music. Okay, so here we go. They say China's He Ji crossed the finish line of last Sunday's race to claim the gold medal and a $5,500 prize for first place, with the African trio just 1 second behind in joint second place. Now, a video clip of the finish shows Kenya's Willie Mangat turning toward he and gesturing for him to move ahead as the 4 men run neck and neck. Former 5 kilometers world record holder Robert Keeter, also from Kenya, then appeared to wave at the guy to overtake the pack while signaling for his compatriot and Ethiopia's Dejini Halu to hang back. What's really going on here? Did somebody pay them to take a dive? I mean, what's the problem? The video caused an online uproar in China, with many calling for an investigation and demanding action from organizers. In a statement Friday, the organizing committee said the 3 African runners actively slowed down in the last 2 kilometers, and as a result, He Ji won the men's championship. All 4 runners' results have been revoked, and their trophies, medals, and bonuses will be withdrawn. See how this is all so foolish of them. Now, the 3 African runners were invited to join the race as pacemakers by Chinese sports company Xtep, which sponsored both he and the Beijing half marathon, according to the committee. But Xtep failed to note the trio as pacemakers to the race operator, Zhehongyo Lupeo, Beijing Sports Management Company. Now, the committee disqualified the operator from hosting the Beijing half marathon and banned Xtep from sponsoring any more races this season. In a statement Friday, Xtep sincerely apologized to all the runners and its customers, saying, "We bear a great responsibility for this, fully accept the punishment decision made by the organizing committee. And they vow to reflect seriously and conduct a deep review to ensure such incidents do not happen again in the future." He, who's 25 years old, has broken China's marathon record twice in the past 2 years and is considered one of the country's most promising long-distance runners. He is ranked 74th in the world in the men's marathon by World Athletics and is expected to lead the way for Asian runners in the upcoming Paris 2024 Summer Olympics. So they're just letting people win now, just slowing down. Sandra said maybe they're paying homage to Putin. Mr. Elevation said, what was the offer? I have questions. I do too. Alice said, but did they disqualify the winner? No, they didn't. The winner didn't do anything but win. So they only disqualified the ones who allowed him to win. But of course, DC said Mortal Kombat, flawless victory. This is all ridiculous to me. But anyway, I digress. Meanwhile, let's talk about this former senior advisor to Obama. Former senior policy advisor to Obama White House charged with child sex offenses in British court. Rahameen Rami Shai, age 46. Okay, now here's what they accuse him of doing. They say the former senior policy advisor to the Obama administration has appeared in court in Britain charged with child sex offenses. Okay, they say he coordinated the U.S. government strategy to combat terrorists from Al Qaeda and the Taliban. He's now accused of arranging the commission of a child sex offense, according to court documents. He is also charged with possession of 2 Category C indecent images of children and possessing a prohibited image of a child. See, this is the thing. You never know what kind of people you have working, in these high-ranking positions, okay? A lot of these people are just nothing but criminals and perverts. Now, Shai, who's a U.S. citizen who lives in New Jersey, worked for the White House under President Barack Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. He was arrested in late February by Bedfordshire police. He was charged with the following day and appeared at the Luton Crown Court via video link from HMP Bedford on Friday, wearing a gray prison-issued tracksuit. He was not asked to enter a plea to any of the charges and was remanded into custody ahead of a hearing that's going to take place in June. Now, most recently employed as an executive at a banking group city, Shai worked in a senior role at the U.S. Treasury Department from 2008 to 2014, advising officials on countering the financing of terrorism and assisting foreign governments to impose sanctions on hostile regimes, as well as working as a senior advisor to the late U.S. diplomat Richard Holbrooke, who served under the last 3 Democratic presidents. Shai provided strategic policy analysis to chiefs of staff at the U.S. Department of Defense. He was deployed to Afghanistan to provide expertise to the NATO-led International Security Assistance Force, also known as ISAF, which was set up to maintain stability following the American-led invasion of the country. According to his LinkedIn page, Shai provided ISAF with counter-terrorist finance expertise and went on to present the U.S.'s strategy on Afghanistan to a congressional hearing in 2010. He was a student at Rutgers University in New Jersey and went on to study international security policy at Columbia's University School of International and Public Affairs in New York. A spokesman for Citi said that Shai was no longer an employee at the banking group, and he's due to go to trial in August. Isn't this awful? I mean, this is just all real crazy. Some of these people just can't help themselves. They just do all sorts of nefarious things. And here's the picture of him right there. That's the guy right there. That's the culprit. Okay, please pay attention. Some of these people will risk their entire careers and freedom and all of that just to be freaks. And it's really crazy. So anyway, now let's talk about these bodies of these prisoners who passed away, how their organs, the bodies were returned to the families without organs. And the families didn't give consent for their organs to be removed. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. Now I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this report.
It was a funeral home that first alerted Sarah Kennedy something was wrong with the body of her brother-in-law, who died while imprisoned.
They said, "Did y'all realize he came back without his organs?" And I'm like, what do you mean? He came back without his organs?
The funeral director told Sarah everything was missing inside Jim Kennedy Jr.'s body. Everything but his eyes.
Liver, heart, all of your major organs, they were gone.
She says those organs were taken without the knowledge or permission of Marvin Kennedy, Kennedy Jr.'s brother and legal representative.
But yet they made the decisions for you, or represented you without your permission.
Sarah repeatedly tried to contact the prison and the University of Alabama at Birmingham, which is among the providers that conducts autopsies for the prison system.
I had a lot of questions. But no answers.
Eventually, she says she spoke over the phone with someone who identified himself as an autopsy department supervisor for the university, and she secretly recorded that conversation.
We've never had this request done before.
To have the organs back?
Yeah,
Well,
we've
who
never.
buries somebody without their organs?
Well, we do it all the time because
We don't want to do it for our religious preference. We don't want to do that.
Now, I will tell you this: is that UAB is a teaching institution, and any teaching institution that does autopsies keeps their organs.
Well, we did not, and Junior did not want that. We have not agreed with the prison for his body to be turned over for no study, and we want those organs back.
5 months after Kennedy Jr.'s death, Billy Stapler made his own alarming discovery.
It's just insane. It's like a horror movie that I can't wake up from.
The private pathologist he hired to perform an autopsy on his father, Arthur Stapler, was unable to perform it.
She said he had an empty cavity. There was nothing there.
Stapler says he held the power of attorney for his father and never authorized the removal or retention of the organs.
I just want him to be whole again.
Stapler says he spoke with the same UAB supervisor. Eventually, his private pathologist received what was said to be his father's brain and heart back. But some organs, like his lungs, came back in pieces. The rest were gone.
And I'm asking, where's the rest of his organs? And he tells me that they're possibly got thrown away. And I'm like, how do you throw away organs? Why did you even take them out of him?
Funeral experts tell CNN after an autopsy, organs are normally put in a bag and placed back inside the body. But that's not what happened in the case of these 7 inmates. The families of 5 of them now suing the Alabama Department of Corrections and UAB. The university conducted the autopsies for all the inmates but one, says attorney to the families, Lauren Ferrano. She tells CNN the families insist none of them were organ donors. So how in the world did this all happen without family consent? The Alabama Department of Corrections tells CNN it does not comment on pending litigation, nor does it authorize or perform autopsies. But UAB tells CNN ADOC does approve them and says it's ADOC's responsibility to get family approval. What do you think is your most damning piece of evidence?
The contract between the Department of Corrections and UAB is just about all the evidence we need to show that illegal activity is happening. That contract shows these parties empowering a warden to make a decision about taking out organs and keeping them from loved ones. The law directly contradicts that position. The law says very clearly a warden does not have that right.
CNN reached out to the Alabama legislature for clarity. A legislative attorney saying in a memo, a warden has no legal authority to approve an autopsy, and their agreement may be illegal. And just what happened to those organs? UAB told CNN in a statement, in some cases, their pathologists keep organs for further testing to come to an accurate cause of death. Ferrano claims the organs serve another purpose at the school.
Right now, we have concrete evidence that the students are using some of these organs for training in medical school.
A group of 13 UAB medical students questioned the ethics of the school's retention of some inmate organs without consent as far back as 2018. They wrote this letter to school administrators, saying in part, "Our concern is not with the practice of autopsy, but with the process of consent for the retention and use of tissue samples." 2 of those former medical students tell CNN their instructors acknowledged that many of their teaching samples came from inmates because inmates tend to have more developed disease, easier to see and learn from. The students agreed to speak on the condition of anonymity, fearing career repercussions, one saying, "It's plainly and obviously wrong. There is no understanding of medical ethics in which this is permissible." UAB accused the student whistleblowers of inaccuracies in a statement to CNN, something the students deny. Despite the accounts from former students, the university tells CNN it does not use inmate organs to teach medical students. So we went back to them and asked, "Have you ever?" showing them their own report from 2018 that states they do. But UAB refused to answer. For the families, left frustrated and without answers, nothing short of accountability and policy changes can make them whole.
What made it right for them to just go ahead and just give away a person to somebody else and say, "Here, you can play with this person's body like that"?
The attorney to the families, Lauren Ferrano, tells me at least 2 more lawsuits are being prepared. And Abby, back in 2021, an Alabama law was passed that requires medical examiners to notify next of kin if they will retain someone's organs to determine identification or the cause or manner of death. It also requires next of kin approval to keep organs for, quote, research or other purposes. Ferrano will be leaning heavily on that law in court. Abby?
I find this all so nefarious, don't you? I find this all nefarious. And then they're sitting up there telling lies. Yes, Mary says organ harvesting. Absolutely. And here's the thing. This is problematic for more reasons than one. There's also the fact that without the organs, how do you perform a successful autopsy and find out how this person passed away, how they expired? At the end of the day, they could have been murked in the prison. They may not have just died from illness or natural causes. Someone could have taken them out. It could have been a guard. Who knows? At the end of the day, they could have been beaten to death, brutalized. Who knows what could have happened? At the end of the day, for them to sit there and then, basically just remove the organs and then give it to somebody to do studies, that's real crazy. Yeah, Queen Sam said class action lawsuit. That's exactly what they should be doing, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, now let's talk about it, because do you all remember about 7 months ago, sometime last year, I did a story about this Liberian woman who was dating a U.S. missionary who's not of my skin tone, and named Lucas Richards. Okay, this man was married, had a whole wife. They're over there acting like they're missionaries, and he's dating this young woman, significantly younger than him. And then she tells him she's pregnant, and he tries to take her out of here. You all remember that story? For those of you who forgot, let's get back into it, because, okay, some of you saying you remember. So I'm going to show the initial footage, which was 7 months ago. Then we're going to talk about, because he's been acquitted over in Liberia. This man has been acquitted. Please pay attention to the nefariousness of it all. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Story this evening, an Arnaville man has been arrested and charged with attempted murder while on a missionary trip in Liberia.
The victim, a Liberian woman, says the suspect tried to kill her by slitting her throat.
News 10's Jasmine Dean has been following this story and brings us details surrounding his arrest. Jasmine.
Multiple news outlets in Liberia have been reporting on American missionary Lucas Richard being arrested and accused of trying to kill Jessica Lloyd. Richard claims he was only trying to help while being robbed. On September 14th, a Facebook post from Creekside Church in Urbandale, Iowa, asked for prayers for Lucas Richard, a missionary the church supported while he and his wife Lois Ann Richard served in Liberia. The church says they received a message from his wife saying he was attacked and robbed. After the post, Creekside received backlash due to news of Richard being arrested for allegedly trying to kill Jessica Lloyd, a Liberian woman. Liberia's Ministry of Justice confirmed Richard's arrest in a statement after the Liberia National Police arrested him on allegations of criminal attempt to commit murder and aggravated assault. During their investigation, Richard told Liberian police he and Lloyd were attacked by people on motorbikes after he took her to the market. Richard told police Lloyd was hit by a motorbike, causing her to fall in a ditch, leaving her with lacerations on her neck, head, and fingers. Investigators say Lloyd was taken to a hospital where she alleges Richard was the one who slit her throat. Richard was taken into police custody and is currently being held at the Monrovia Central Prison, where he is awaiting trial. News 10 reached out to Creekside Church about their support of Richard, and they told us in a statement, "Sadly, we have confirmed today through an eyewitness from Liberia that Lucas had in fact entered into a second marriage with Jessica, which neither we nor his wife had any prior knowledge of. While there are many points of allegations we cannot confirm, since the extramarital relationship has been verified, this alone makes Lucas ineligible to represent our church or receive support." While Liberian National Police continues to investigate, Richard maintains his innocence. Creekside's full statement can be found on our website at klfy.com. Jasmine Dean, KLFY News 10.
Okay, so That was the initial report when it first happened. Now, he tried to take this woman out of here because she was pregnant. He didn't want his wife to find out. Okay? And he pretty much meant to take her up out of here. Lucky she survived. Now, here's the thing. Liberia, American missionary acquitted of attempted murder. So, American missionary Lucas Richards, hold on. She called him Lucas Richard, but Richard doesn't have an S on the end. His name is Lucas Richards, according to these online sources. So anyway, American missionary Lucas Richards, who stood trial on allegations of aggravated assault and criminal attempt to commit murder against Jessica Lloyd, was adjudged not guilty by Criminal Court B, at the Temple of Justice on Wednesday, April the 17th. The verdict came after a legal battle between the prosecution, represented by the government of Liberia, and the defense, represented the accused. However, Richards' acquittal from the charge of criminal attempt to commit murder was met with curses from his accuser, Jessica Lloyd, in a dramatic scene outside the Temple of Justice following Judge Nelson China's final ruling. Madam Lloyd was heard raining curses at Mr. Richards in the courtyard after he was declared to be a free man following the judge's ruling. Jessica Lloyd was heard saying, "You will not live until the end of this year for what you did to me. I swear to you. I swear to God, you will pay for it." She said he won't live to the end of this year. So either she's going to take him out, get somebody to take him out, or maybe she's putting some voodoo or something on him. Please pay attention. So you will bear the consequences of what you did before this term of court ends. Any judges and lawyers connected to this, your generations will face the consequences of this. Maybe she's just making idle threats. Who knows? Her anger was triggered by the ruling, which was not in her favor, as the judge noted that upon review of the court records, the prosecution did not provide sufficient evidence to find defendant Richards guilty of the alleged crimes against him. In his ruling, Judge China noted that the evidence presented by the prosecution was insufficient and that the witnesses' testimonies contradicted each other. This discrepancy in testimonies led the judge to conclude that Richards was not guilty of the crimes of aggravated assault and criminal attempt to commit murder. So they say it's the decision of this court, after considering the facts, circumstances, and applicable laws, that the defendant is hereby not guilty of the crimes of aggravated assault and criminal attempt to commit murder. The defendant is ordered discharged from ever answering to this charge, and his bail bond, if any, is to be returned. This is also egregious because he definitely tried to kill that woman. Okay, she's not lying. Now, during the ruling, Judge China highlighted that the principal witness, Jessica Lloyd, maintained in her testimony that the defendant did not harm her. This testimony, according to the judge, carried more weight than other evidence presented, especially in the absence of any evidence indicating coercion or inducement. The judge stated that most of the prosecution witnesses, their testimonies were based on hearsay evidence, which is not admissible in court except in certain circumstances. Moreover, the judge emphasized that the case's history should be supported by evidence before the police, which may include written voluntary statements from witnesses. And however, the summaries of the witnesses' testimonies contradicted their voluntary statements in the case. The judge concluded that the evidence produced by the state was insufficient to support the allegations in the indictment and to secure a conviction. Furthermore, the judge referenced previous cases where the Supreme Court held that when evidence is insufficient or conflicting or inconsistent, the accused must be acquitted on the principle of reasonable doubt. Defendant Richards was indicted by the grand jury for Montserrato on December the 14th of 2023 for allegedly committing the crimes of aggravated assault and criminal attempt to commit murder, both felonies of the second degree. Now, according to the indictment, on September the 14th of 2023, defendant Richards allegedly injected Jessica Lloyd with an unknown substance with the intent to terminate her 3-month pregnancy. The indictment further alleged that Richards took advantage of Lloyd's weakened state and attempted to kill her by slashing her throat with a knife. Following the judge's not guilty ruling, the state prosecutor announced an appeal to the Supreme Court. However, Judge China denied the request, stating that the state cannot further appeal to the Supreme Court in a criminal proceeding. Yeah, this is definitely a travesty of justice. But now, what I'm confused is they say that the witness said that he didn't try to harm her, that Jessica Lloyd said he didn't try to harm her. Now, if she said that, how is it that she's now upset that he got off? Something about that doesn't sound right to me. Okay, something about that does not sound right. Yeah, it just doesn't sound right to me whatsoever. I don't know. I don't know why she would say he didn't try to harm her. If that's the case, why were they even in court? I don't know that I believe that. He tried to terminate her a few times and was unsuccessful with each attempt. Says re-educated soul. Well, Claudette says sounds fishy. Hey, Edward, beloved. Yeah, it does sound fishy, right? It sounds real strange. I'm sorry. It doesn't make any sense to me. With that all been said, everyone please get those likes up. Thank you in advance. Okay, and so moving right along, let's talk about this nefarious teacher. Okay, and let me put her mug up on the screen. Now, this teacher was caught nude in her birthday suit in the car with a student. Caught in the car with a student. I don't think I showed her, I don't think I put her picture in here. Okay, so anyway, I'll show it to you from the article. So, Nebraska teacher, age 45, caught naked in car with teen, and she's married to a Harvard-educated government official. Some people are just crazy, okay? You got to be crazy to do stuff like this. You got to be absolutely insane, okay? So it goes on to say the Nebraska substitute teacher caught naked in a car with a teenage student is a mom married to a Harvard-educated, high-ranking federal government employee. Now, Erin Ward, age 45, she looks a whole lot older than 45, please pay attention, allegedly confessed to having sex with a 17-year-old boy, a student at Burke High School where she worked, in the back of a car and was charged with felony sexual abuse by a school employee. Now, by sleeping with the teen, Ward is also accused of cheating on her husband, a director at the U.S. Department of Defense, with whom she shares 3 kids, according to social media posts shared by Gretna couple. Shared by the Gretna couple. Doug Ward has spent nearly 2 decades with the U.S. Strategic Command, one of the unified combatant commands with the Defense Department, headquartered at Alford Air Force Base in Omaha. And this is according to his LinkedIn page. The command detects and deters attacks against the U.S. and its allies. That's what his job is. Now, Doug Ward began his career as Deputy Branch Chief in 2005 and was promoted to Deputy Director of the Commander's Action Group in February. Now, Doug Ward also has a long educational history with degrees from the University of Illinois, Bellevue University, and Harvard Extension School. He is completing his doctorate in defense and strategic studies at Missouri State University. Their relationship was first reported by the Daily Mail. Erin Ward was arrested early Saturday when Douglas County Sheriff's deputies found her allegedly fooling around with a teenage boy in the car she shared with her husband. This is all crazy. Officers had responded to a call for a suspicious car parked on a dead-end street at about 3 a.m. in the morning. Now, when they peeked into the vehicle, they saw the naked substitute teacher with the partially clothed teen in the back seat. The panicked teen hurried to the driver's seat and sped off in the vehicle, but crashed 2 blocks later, at which point he got out and fled on foot. Now, I don't mean to laugh, but why? I don't mean to laugh because this clearly isn't funny, but why did he flee? He wasn't the one in the wrong. She was. So anyway, it goes on to say Erin remained in the car where she got dressed and then allegedly confessed to sleeping with the boy. Police found her ID from Omaha Public Schools on her, and she said that she substituted at various schools in the area, including the teen school. So the high schooler was later found hiding in a yard in only his t-shirt and underwear. because the teen was above the age of consent, which is 16 in Nebraska. The teacher dodged statutory rape charges, but was still hit with the felony counts of sexual abuse by a school employee. Okay, so let me just show her mug shot. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. This is all crazy. These grown teachers, and it's always these Karens. Please pay attention. You notice how it's always these Karens? There she is. Looking a hot mess. She looks older than 45 on that picture. And here's her husband. That's her husband right there. Harvard graduate, working for the Department of Defense and whatnot. I find it all nefarious. Tamiko Show said, please don't be black. Meta Simple said she looks nefarious. Okay. Tamiko said, I bet the child was black though. I bet he was too. Matter of fact, let me tell you something. Me and you were thinking the same thing, because I said, now, for this student to jump out of the car and run, probably was somebody of my skin tone. That's exactly what I was thinking. Okay? That's exactly what I was thinking. So anyway, this is all crazy at the end of the day. Now let's talk about this, I don't even know what I'm going to call him, but a devil for one. This man named Jeremy Williams is convicted of doing some very nefarious things to a child, a 5-year-old child. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. But before I do, I just want you all to see this beautiful little girl that he took the life of, and her mother allowed it to happen. That's the little girl, beautiful little girl. That's her mother. Okay. And he supposedly gave the mother some money at one point. And then at this particular time that he took her life, I believe he was babysitting the child. I don't know why she would have this man babysitting her child, but you know, you can't make sense of some of the things that people do these days. Some people are just foolish and, quite frankly, just devils. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this news report. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
For what this monster did to this baby.
Reaction from the Russell County Jail commander who took Jeremy Williams' confession to the rape and murder of 5-year-old Kamari Holland in December of 2021. Hello, and we thank you for trusting WRBL News 3. I'm Phil Scoggins.
And I'm Teresa Whitaker. This morning, it took a Russell County jury about an hour to convict Jeremy Williams on 4 counts of capital murder. He killed, raped, and brutalized 5-year-old Kamari Holland on December 13th in 2021.
WRBL's Chuck Williams was on the scene the day Kamari's body was found in an abandoned Phoenix City home. He was in the courtroom again today, and he joins us here now.
Phil, Teresa, there is nothing else I can say after more than 2 years of covering the story. I'm going to let District Attorney Rick Chancey sum it up.
Of people involved with him. Don't expect an apology. Don't expect remorse. I don't think he'll ever truly apologize for what he's done. I don't think he has the ability to feel remorse. And I think you can just see in his eyes that he is what he is, and he's on a different level of evil. But you can see it.
Jeremy Williams bought an hour of 5-year-old Kamari Holland's time. He purchased her for $2,500 for sex from the little girl's mother, who has pled guilty to human trafficking and is serving a 20-year sentence. What happened that day is unspeakable. Williams, in a meth-fueled sexual rage, put all of it on video shot from his phone.
There's not enough justice, for what this monster did to this baby.
That was Steve Johnson, the Russell County Jail commander, who came in on Christmas night 2021 to take a 5-hour tape confession from Williams. He confessed to a murder of his 1-month-old son in Alaska for the sin of crying. But the evidence of the rape, sodomy, and murder of Kamari Holland stunned even the most seasoned deputies.
When we opened that phone and we saw the crime videoed live as it occurred, it was more than what my folks at the time could really comprehend.
And Chancey asked 15 jurors, 12 on the jury and 3 alternates, to watch 11 minutes of that video before passing judgment on Williams. After the verdict, Chancey spent some time talking to those jurors.
First thing I asked him was, could I have gotten by without the video? Because that's been on my heart for 2 years, is do I put them through that video or not? Because you heard it, it's bad. And it's worse than I can even say. And I think every one of them said, you don't get the effect unless you see the video. So none of them, I think, felt like I should not have shown the video. I think they didn't want to see it. They didn't like seeing it, but it said it helped them understand that he was guilty of everything he was charged with.
Kamari was with her mother that night because the girl's father, Corey Holland, who had custody of Kamari and her little brother, violated a court order that prohibited Christy Sipple's children from having any contact with her. Sipple, a prostitute, knew Williams and had let him babysit Kamari while she was working. Here's the reason Holland says he violated the court order and let Sipple have her child that night.
Well, Kamari, to me, had me wrapped around her finger, so any and everything she wanted, I always wanted to give her, and she begged me to go, and of course, I didn't want to upset my baby, so I let her go.
Taylor's been the one charged with keeping Williams safe in the Russell County Jail as the case worked through the legal system.
We've had several, obviously, of the inmates in the facility that were wanting to get to him and have a more prophetic justice type thing. But it's our responsibility to keep him safe, and it's our responsibility to bring him to court and let him have the justice through our system, and that's what we did.
Chancey and Taylor stood in a Russell County cemetery back in December 2021, and they made a pact to seek justice for Kamari Holland.
I see, and it's probably your picture. I didn't know somebody was taking pictures, but from behind I can see that picture of the sheriff and I standing there looking toward the grave. Nah, we didn't get justice. I need Kamari back. That baby shouldn't have gone through that, Chuck. I got the best I can do.
What is justice? The ordeal is not over. Monday morning, Williams will be back in front of Circuit Court Judge David Johnson for the sentencing phase of this trial. Williams waived his right for a jury to decide his fate on the sentencing. The life or death decision now rests solely with Judge David Johnson. Phil, Teresa, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Chuck. During his brief closing argument, Williams' attorney, Chuck Floyd, apologized to the jury for having to sit through this trial.
The judge should give him the death penalty as far as I'm concerned. Should get the automatic death penalty. What he did is absolutely horrendous, egregious, and quite frankly nefarious. He needs the death penalty. That's what I have to say about that. And the mother should get the same punishment because she sold her child to him. She needs to get the same thing. And here's the thing. Can you imagine the poor father who had custody of her, which says to me that the mother probably isn't any good anyway, wasn't any good, because they very seldom give custody to the father unless the mother's just unfit. So he allowed the poor child to go stay with the mother because that's what she wanted to do. And I know he's probably going to regret that decision for the rest of his days. This is all so sad. Now let's talk about the FBI investigating after anti-Semitic rhetoric found on a Pittsburgh area home. That is just so sad that that woman would let somebody do something like that to her own child. What a sick person. What a truly sick individual. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
To an anti-Semitic phrase spray painted on the sidewalk of a home on Pittsburgh's central north side overnight. KDKA's Ricky Sayer reports.
The woman told us these anti-Semitic incidents have happened 3 other times over the past few weeks right outside of her home. It's the reason she installed a security camera. She wakes up every morning and before she even gets out of bed, she checks what's on that security camera. fearful of what she might see. She asked us to not use her name or show her face so she could protect her family. A Jewish Pittsburgh woman hoped scenes like the one that took place outside her front door had been left to history.
It's bone-chilling.
Greeting her Sunday morning was a Nazi rallying cry, one that was used to spread that ethnicity is based solely on someone's blood descendants and where they live.
It is definitely something that absolutely hits you viscerally.
Their graffiti, a reminder of the hate and persecution Jews have faced throughout history.
You know, I'm a middle-aged adult. I have been Jewish my whole life, and I have never in my life experienced this degree of anti-Semitism.
She lives with her husband and school-aged kids. She now fears for their safety.
It appears that this person might live in the neighborhood, so that's also concerning to know that we could be attacked.
In front of her house sits a flag that says they stand with Israel. She knows some might blame her for this.
So here's the thing. If a woman is wearing a short skirt and gets raped, we don't say she deserved it because she wore a short skirt. If I put out an Israeli flag, I didn't deserve it because I put out a flag.
City Controller Rachel Heisler and others helped to cover the graffiti.
I think that your Jewish neighbors here in Pittsburgh feel lonely.
Beacon Coalition President Jeremy Kazaz says they seek love and support from their neighbors and elected officials.
And we're looking forward to see action to make sure that this sort of behavior is stopped and the perpetrators are held accountable.
And it is important that our voices are heard and that our neighbors step up and do something.
Pittsburgh police tell us they have referred the case to the FBI.
But I would like to see this individual caught and prosecuted because this is a hate crime. It is ethnic intimidation. It's harassment.
Pittsburgh police are also investigating. Mayor Ed Gainey put out a statement saying today, and I quote, "I am dedicated to building a city that is safe, welcoming, and thriving for everyone who calls Pittsburgh home." And that means coming together to reject anti-Semitism and all forms of hate. Public Works is scheduled to clean up the graffiti tomorrow morning. In Pittsburgh, Ricky Sayer, KDK TV News.
Okay, so with that all being said, at least they're investigating, because when it's someone that looks like us and it's a hate crime, they always say nothing to see here, folks. Okay, this isn't a hate crime just because this person's swinging from a tree like strange fruit. They likely did this to themselves. No evidence of foul play. Isn't that what they say? And then when they find someone with the N-word spray painted on their house or garage, how long do they investigate that? But anyway, I digress. Now let's talk about this worker at McDonald's, 15 years old, who was left with a fractured skull after an adult male with a rap sheet stomps her during a brawl. And this is a female that he did this to. I want you all to pay attention. I'm going to show his picture, his mug on the screen. So everyone please like and share. This is the thug right here. Okay, now he did this to a 15-year-old female, a girl. So let's talk about it. A goon, they called him a goon, and that's clearly what he is. A goon with a lengthy criminal history viciously assaulted a 15-year-old female McDonald's worker, dragging her by her hair and repeatedly stomping on her head in the parking lot after a rowdy group of customers provoked a brawl with employees inside the restaurant earlier this month. Johnny Ricks, age 25, was arrested for assault after he allegedly grabbed the teen by her hair and yanked her across the parking lot of the restaurant just outside St. Louis before bashing her head to the concrete and punching her in the face. The girl, identified as Aurea, I think it's Aurea Lynch, on a GoFundMe set up by her family, suffered a fractured skull, broken nose, and damage to her frontal lobe. Now, see, this is really something. Now, he has damaged her frontal lobe. Now, here's the thing. A teenager's frontal lobe is not even fully developed. Okay, it's not even fully developed until they're around 25, I do believe. And he's damaged hers, and she's only 15. I just want you all to pay attention to this devil. So they say this assault has been a life-changing experience for her. That's what her mother, Shaniqua Phillips, wrote on the page that was set up to help cover her medical expenses, which has already raised $13,000 of its $15,000 goal. She's fighting hard to stay upbeat and heal, but this is only the beginning of her uphill battle. Okay, this is what her mother said. This incident has shattered our family's lives. This is absolutely deplorable. Now, the cowardly April the 7th attack was captured in a disturbing video posted on Facebook by Phillips, who wrote that Ricks should be charged with child endangerment or attempted murder. Absolutely, attempted murder it's worthy, it's warranted. He's banging her head on the concrete. He's stomping her in her head and dragging her across the parking lot. What was he trying to do? Sounds like he was trying to kill her, as far as I'm concerned. Now, the fight reportedly began when Ricks, accompanied by a group of unidentified adults, pulled up to the drive-thru window at the restaurant and began behaving obnoxiously. I can only imagine. It was getting loud and getting obnoxious in the drive-thru. So we said, if you want to get your order taken, step aside. That's what the teen told the news media that she said. The group then stormed inside the McDonald's and started menacing the workers, throwing items around the restaurant and spitting on at least 4 employees. This sounds like a bunch of hood rats, just idiotic people. The St. Louis County Police said that at one point, Ricks became enraged and threw a food tray at an electronic menu screen, destroying it. The brawl then spilled out into the parking lot, with the video showing at least a dozen people, both men and women, grappling and throwing fists. In the video, a man identified by police as Ricks, who towers over the teen, can be seen dragging her around the parking lot like a rag doll before raising his foot to nearly waist high and bringing it down on the helpless girl's skull. Getting stomped out by a grown man. The injured teen later said, "I wasn't prepared for what was going to happen." She was treated and released from the hospital after undergoing surgery, and her GoFundMe page says she hopes to return to work soon. Rick's rap sheet reads like a crime bingo card, with public records showing charges dating back to 2016, ranging from theft and fraud to excessive speeding, disorderly conduct, and even littering. And in April of 2023, he was arrested for aggravated assault. No surprise there. Ricks is being held at the St. Louis County Justice Center on charges of felony assault and property damage in the second degree. Well, he should have had attempted murder. Okay, that's what he should have had. His next court appearance is scheduled for April the 25th, though it was not clear if he had retained an attorney. They say ensuring the safety of both our employees and customers is paramount to me as a local business owner, and we have a strict workplace violence policy at my restaurants. This is what Jimmy Williams, owner of the McDonald's location where the brawl broke out, said to the media. He says, "My team is fully cooperating with the St. Louis County Police in their investigation. The St. Louis County Police told the outlet that they were working with the North County Precinct to investigate the incident and actively working to identify more victims, witnesses, and suspects." Ricks is being held on a $150,000 cash-only bond, no 10%, okay? So that's good. He won't be getting out anytime soon. He has to pay cash $150,000. Dirty devil. And here's this poor child right here. And when you see this child, she's 15, but she looks like she's 10 to 12 years old, okay? I just want you all to pay attention. Who does this? He needs to be off the streets because he's clearly dangerous. Okay, that's her in the hospital. This is the brawl, scenes from it. See him stomping her while she's lying on the floor with the red shirt. And this is the little girl right here. Look how little she is. That is a darn shame. That is a darn shame. Some people just walk around with whole demons inside of them, as far as I'm concerned. Okay? Now let's get into this last story, then I'm out of here. So 5 teenagers were shot. This happened in Greenbelt, Maryland. Now, I'm not going to show this whole thing. It's like 14 minutes, but they said it was 5 teenagers shot. This is all so sad. Who's raising these thugs that are out here shooting up everybody? Who's out here raising them? I have questions.
The DC area. And we still have live aerial pictures over the scene of this shooting incident that took place as teens and juveniles were participating there in Senior Skip Day. And law enforcement told us that shots rang out. 5 individuals, all male, were injured. And so law enforcement just wrapped up a press conference on this. So let's listen.
A recap of what happened today. Somewhere at about 2:30 this afternoon, officers from the Greenbelt Police Department responded to Schramm Hills Park, which is located in the 6900 block of Hanover Parkway. When they arrived on scene, the original officer discovered about 500 to 600 what he believed to be high school students in the park. For those that have not been there, this park is not big, so that's a lot of kids jammed into this particular space. He requested additional officers to respond to the park, and a number of officers from the Greenbelt Police Department, as well as the Prince George's County Police Department and the Maryland State Police responded to provide assistance. Officers arrived on scene and began trying to control traffic and the crowd as well. And while those officers were walking into the park, they heard the sound of gunshots. They believed at that time to be a number of shots, not verified, but 8 to 10 gunshots. Officers then immediately responded to where those shots came from in an active shooter response. Not only members of the Greenbelt Police Department, but again, Prince George's County Police Department and the Maryland State Police. Officers responded. They located 5 wounded individuals. They immediately began providing medical care to those individuals while they secured the area and searched for a suspect. At that moment, when the shots were fired, all of those individuals that were in the park began to flee out on the Hanover Parkway. When they did that, we believe that the suspect left with them and fled the park. We had not located him at this point. Officers provided medical care to those 5 individuals who were transported to local hospitals. The age range of those 5 individuals is 16 to 18. All 5 were taken to an area hospital. 1 is in critical condition. The other 4 are listed as in stable condition. This is currently an active investigation, and we are looking for any information from those individuals who may have been at the party to be able to help us identify this particular suspect. Anybody who has information can contact the Greenbelt Police Department at 301-474-7200. Let me say that this is a horrible, tragic, senseless act that happened today. There's absolutely no reason that this occurred. It is senseless. It is chronic in our society, and we have to do something to stop it. These were kids on Senior Skip Day who were looking to have a good time in a local park. And to have something like this occur is just, it's maddening, honestly. And to the individuals that were there, to their classmates, to the school, to our community, this isn't just going to be something that affects a small group of people. This affects not only the city of Greenbelt, but our entire county, our entire state. These are kids, these are high school kids, and this is just unnecessary, unacceptable. And we have to come together and find a way to keep this from happening. You know, there's, again, I'm pretty upset by this, and there's got to be a way to get this to stop happening. With that, I'll ask my city manager to come forward and say a few words.
Thank you, Police Chief. This is a very unfortunate event that happened. There's really no words to say how senseless this violence is. And I agree with the chief that we have to find ways of getting guns off our streets and doing more on how we can help our young people have better relationships with each other, because these are young people hurting each other. Like Chief said, this is an investigation, so we'll have further evidence and details to highlight in the coming days. And I hope that we can find a resolution and find the person responsible or persons responsible for this senseless act of violence. Now, leading up to the event, our officers were on scene, and I feel fortunate that we had so many officers already on the scene that were there, and I'm sure that that helped in reducing the number of victims in this incident. I also am grateful for the numerous law enforcement agencies that were already on site and provided an immediate response to this incident. And that includes the Prince George's County Police, Berwyn Heights, Maryland State Police. We also had support from ATF and the FBI, and we're grateful for all the assistance that we receive. Moving forward, we're gonna be diligent about these unscheduled activities that are happening in our community. We're gonna play a greater role in tracking and reporting these incidents. With that said, thank you for your patience as we look for swift resolutions to this open case and this investigation. And I'll hand the floor over to our mayor.
Okay, so that's extremely sad that all happened. And I wonder whoever did that, what was their purpose? What were they doing? You know, just being nefarious, just wanted to go out and just shoot up some people. Well, that's what it sounds like. Okay, very unfortunate. Prayers for speedy recovery for those who were injured. So with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Claudette says something isn't right. Louisiana had boys acting up in school. The dad stepped in. No fights, no missed school. Grades up, says T of y'all. Well, that's good. That is really good. Aeon said you walked to the mailbox and got back to the house, clothes covered in black dust. What are they spraying? Honey, who knows? Who actually knows? Okay, so everyone please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all, so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Also, don't forget to double check and make sure that you're still subscribed, especially if you have not been receiving those notifications. Okay, so I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Till next time, Royals, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Hit 'em with that flavor. All in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got